Yep, it's me again. They hate us. This is why they give a fuck about us at the same time as always. I am your host, JD Miles. The MGTOWs, they love to hate. Even the ones that claim everybody loves to hate them, love to hate MGTOW at the same time as always, which is why they keep us relevant to this very day. And I'm back again. Boy, this is interesting right here. So apparent, how should I explain this? You got this woman lying on. It's hard for me to explain this. I'm going to just let the video say it for itself. But imagine a woman slandering your name, claiming that you're a rapist, you did this, you did that, just for clicks and views. That right there is a defamation lawsuit. And no, the shit ain't pretty, the shit ain't cute. But now she's being threatened by both the host of the whatever podcast as well as a guest of the show for defamation. No, ma'am, you can't call someone a grapist and then think that there's no repercussions to that. No, Joe. But nevertheless, shout out to the Poor Man Podcast. I'll leave the link to his full video in the comments section. Go check it out. But enough of me babbling. Let's get down to business, shall we?
I'm actually happy somebody's starting to do something about this slander. Apparently, there was this female debater that for no reason really decided to call Andrew Wilson a grapist. So now she's facing 2 defamation lawsuits, one from Brian at the Whatever Podcast and one from Andrew Wilson himself. It's good. I'm all for it.
Let's go.
So I was watching YouTube the other day.
I saw you did you sit with Andrew Wilson? That's one thing I would disagree with you doing, which is interesting. Like maybe that's the where the debate.
Andrew Wilson? I will say this: there's one thing about this lady right here. I see her all over the debate sphere, and although I don't agree with anything that she says, at least she's willing to get into the realm of debate, and I can respect that, even though I don't agree with almost anything she says.
What did I do now?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I just worry immediately for your safety in that moment.
Why?
For what?
The fact that he's a
for what?
Andrew Wilson's a rapist.
Yeah, you can't do that. That's illegal. That's defamation. Got it on candy camera.
In 4K.
Smoky Man bad because he has debates.
What?
I mean, he's admitted on live streams before on his podcast that he doesn't really believe in what he understands the modern version of consent to look like. And
yeah, because it makes no sense and it's really stupid. Can we get to the part where I'm actually this thing you just called me, though?
Right.
Straight up.
His entire career is built upon a foundational premise that you get clicks by bullying underage girls or
underage girls.
What?
Underage girls. Who has Andrew Wilson debated that's underage? See, she's literally just...
Not that I know of. And usually I don't agree. Usually I'm not a big watcher of Andrew Wilson. I don't watch his content as much, but even I know. When has he ever had anyone underage on his show? That makes no sense whatsoever.
Making this stuff up. And that's the danger of gossip on the internet. She's doing this because she knows that there's a percentage of her audience that's so gullible, they're not going to look into any of these claims. They're just going to take it word of mouth. And some people might think that Andrew Wilson is taking it too far by actually following through with a lawsuit. But in my opinion, that's the danger of gossip. It allows you to operate in that gray area of I'm just a girl and we're having girl talk. But
yes, these retarded folks believe that, a woman should slander you and you should not do anything. Just let her slander you, and you should just take it. And we should just take it like good little boys. I mean, straight up punks, man. Stupid hoes, punks, and all these retarded fucks sitting there believing that, a woman should slander you, and you should not do nothing about it. And they wonder why I call them retarded fucks. I call them that for a reason. Let's continue.
You can't sit there and call somebody a grapist. That's an egregious claim.
What? What underage girls?
Right.
What the are you talking about?
You are underqualified to speak about political problems. And I'm not saying that that's you.
Underqualified to speak about political problems. I have a almost 10th grade education.
Damn.
Almost. Let's see how that stacks up against these who are underqualified to speak about these problems.
It's crazy because Andrew Wilson is so redlined in terms of his YouTube channel, he can't even say woman. He's literally blanking out the word woman. That's how egregious the censorship has become in 2026 on YouTube. I'm also having this issue too.
Same over here as well. But as I say before, this is the same YouTube that is so hypocritical when it comes to their policies. If we do things like that, our channel gets hit. But let the other side does it, it's A-okay. This is the reason why most don't give a fuck. They'll say it anyway. And hope that they don't do nothing. Let's continue.
Unqualified.
Not so erudite. She has an undergraduate in psychology and a graduate diploma in psychometrics.
Sounds more qualified to me.
She's a senior at USC.
They don't look underage to me.
She received a master's degree in fantasy literature from the University of Glasgow and a BA in English from California State University, Sacramento. She received bachelor degrees in psychology and creative writing from...
by the way, she's trying to make Andrew... She's trying to paint Andrew as the host of the Whatever podcast. Andrew Wilson is not the host of the Whatever podcast. He just joins in every now and then. But what does she know? Let's continue.
Ivy League school, Brown University.
Did all of that, went $100,000 into debt to learn nothing, to get cooked by a dude with a 10th grade education so bad that instead of debating him, you have to start slandering him.
He plans to pursue a graduate degree in public policy.
Well, as that saying goes, Poor Man Podcast. As the old saying goes, if they can't beat you with facts, they then have to resort to slandering. Let's continue.
She graduated from University of Florida with a triple major, getting her BS in psychology and BA in philosophy and economics. She will be receiving her bachelor's in psychology.
May.
Which university, or if you don't want to? No worries. She will be receiving her bachelor's in psychology in May.
I'm a political science major. I graduated with a psychology major recently.
And I graduated from FIU, Florida International University.
Sounds much more qualified.
With a double bachelor's in international relations and political science.
Yeah.
I'm Deborah Leah. I'm from New York City. I'm 24 years old, and I have a bachelor's degree in government and politics.
And that's why I'm happy he put this in here, because there's always this thing that people say where really it's insulting to the women, but the defense is always, well, they're talking to OnlyFans girls on whatever podcast, basically calling the women that are on there dumb. But oftentimes those women get on there with college educations, and oftentimes the guys that are debating them on these topics tend to have less formal education than the women do, right?
Straight up. What's more, all those women that were shown, they don't look underage. They do not look like they're underage. So where she's getting this shit from, we don't know. Let's continue.
Any education?
Yes, I'm college educated. I have my bachelor's.
Hi, I'm Billy Weaver. I'm a conservative journalist, big on YouTube, Millennium Millie on YouTube, and I'm also a co-founder of a tech company called QUX.
Sounds very qualified.
My Q technically is at 140, so is it higher? 143?
By the way, the song only lasted so long. The list is quite exhaustive of women who are far more educated than me, who I debate, and men. So what the f*** are you talking about, moron?
I actually don't think that is you at all, and I think that he went out on a limb when he debated you, because that's not usually the type of person that he would engage with.
Oh, Tilly lying again. No, Tilly, sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but it's actually the opposite. Many shows have reached out to Kyla to do debates with me in the past, and she has turned them down over and over again, a thing which she will not even deny, because I have all of the proof. You're wrong. You're wrong. And you're dumb.
But I think that's for the men. I think Andrew Wilson is for the men.
Now, I may not be the smartest man in the room, but I'm pretty confident that she just got done saying that you're dumb.
Yeah, that's essentially what she's insinuating. If she's saying that a man has to take on this debate because the women aren't capable or aren't smart enough to do it, well, then you're basically saying that there's a difference between men and women. You're saying that the men are more educated and far more capable of dealing with the situation. And this is one of those situations where it's like, bro, if you can't take the heat, get back in the kitchen, bro. Like, if you don't want to go and have a debate, that's probably the most cordial thing two people can do. Even two people that have different sexes, is sit down and actually have a conversation. And a lot of the women that get on the panels, even though I believe that they wasted a lot of their money, they are educated.
I think that that's her actual position.
Straight up. I mean, he's debating women that have degrees, bachelor's degrees, are going back to college to get to further advance their skills, and he's debating them with a 10th grade education. Shoot, I've been to college twice. I've been to college not once but twice. But he's actually debating them on a high school level and still destroying them. No doubt about that. Let's continue.
In here.
To tackle, because his audience are so. I mean, I've probably watched 20 hours or more.
That's a lie.
That's a lie.
Liar. That's a lie. That's another lie, an egregious lie, because if you watch 20 hours of his content, you would know that there's no proof of him being a grapist. That's insane.
I know you're about to lie. You always do. People always do that. You're about to tell a big fib
of his podcast.
See, there's one thing about liars. They got to keep the lie going. Especially if they are in fear of being caught in a lie. So they got to make up another lie, then another lie, then another lie to cover up that lie. When you know the signs, it ain't rocket science. Let's continue.
And I've been approached before to come on whatever, and I just said no, because...
And this is how you know old Tilly is telling a Tilly lie. How could you watch 20 hours of the podcast and still declare that it's my podcast? It belongs to Brian Atlas, and I guest on it sometimes and do debates on it sometimes.
Woo! So she wants everybody to believe that Andrew Wilson is the host of the Whatever podcast, not David, who is the actual host of the Whatever podcast. If this bitch If this bitch does not shut her lying ass up, let's continue.
Gutless, lying, filthy, degenerate, progressive scumbags.
I don't think there's any winning. And that's, yeah. So I would want you to speak to your experience of that, because I was frankly not going to go and sit in a room with a bunch of men who don't believe in consent. I was...
Or what?
You see
Bunch of men?
What do you think is going to happen?
Right.
First of all, when you say...
Wait. What does she mean by a bunch of men? Last time I checked, the Weber podcast used to be 2 to 3 men and a bunch of women on their podcast. I never, when the times I do watch it, I don't see more men than women. I see more women than men on that podcast. So what is she talking about here?
Modern consent. We're talking about how progressives view consent, and they're lunatics. Literally like you. They're lunatics like you are.
Yeah, and you can tell that these words have changed in terms of their meaning, because the R word, or grape, used to literally mean holding a woman down and taking advantage of her by force, which is obviously an egregious crime. And I don't even know why we always have to sit here and defend that. Nobody believes that should happen to people, right? That's
Straight
obviously
up.
not the case. But
Straight
if
up.
move from that being the definition to a man having debates with somebody being the definition of grape, then the goalpost has obviously moved pretty far, to the point where it's time to start talking about that, because this is an egregious claim.
But secondly, what do you think's going to happen? Do you think they're going to throw you up on the table and have their way with you in the middle of Santa Barbara, California?
Come on, man.
While the cameras are rolling live? Is that what you think, Tilly?
Spooked.
Yeah. It feels, correct me if I'm wrong, it feels like a commentary on platforming in general. And I have very mixed thoughts about platforming, and maybe you disagree. Maybe it's not a platforming. And so correct me, am I misunderstanding you and saying it's somewhat, it feels...
Maybe a little.
No, Kyla, you dolt. They're not talking about platforming. She's literally saying that she's afraid that she's going to go down to Santa Barbara, California to do a debate, and is going to be ravaged by the hordes of men who can't control themselves because they don't believe in modern forms of consent.
Okay.
Maybe a little, because
I mean, it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And on top of that, as I said, there are more women on the podcast than the men. What are the women going to put on strap-ons, and they're gonna partake in ravishing you, ma'am? I doubt that. Let's continue.
Usually, I'm not big on the argument of you platforming, you're legitimizing these ideas. I think that's actually a really complex and nuanced topic that people slap a big thought-terminating cliche on. You're legitimizing, you're doing that. Genuinely just worried that, a woman was engaging in the debate. I think that in this instance, when it comes to men like this, it should be a man who engages in that particular debate.
Wait, I just saw the title of that? A Cambridge feminist? Oh, okay. Okay, now I see where this is going. So basically, you have a Femintard who's trying to call a guy a rapist with no proof or evidence, not even a background check. That is a case. Yes, that is a defamation case waiting to happen. Let's continue.
Doesn't sound very progressive of you. Are you insinuating that a woman can't hold her own in a debate?
I was literally worried for your physical safety. I'm worried for
Yep, Cambridge feminist.
Who go in person to these podcast environments.
Well, Tilly, I wouldn't worry about it. Kyla was so unconcerned about her safety that she brought a case of beer for me into the studio before the debate started.
So nice of her.
And said, I brought this for you because I heard you really like
big
beer.
Props.
Which is true. A very thoughtful gift of Kyla.
So nice.
Anyway,
so nice.
I assume that she didn't think that, the person you're calling the R word here Would you bring a person you thought was the R word a case of beer?
Nope.
I mean, drunk and the R word together? How could I ever possibly control myself?
Just open at the mouth.
Of course, the entire premise is built on the fact that I think if my wife wakes me up with a... That's not S.A. That's not the R word. I know. I get it. I understand.
Yes, Andrew Wilson is married. So that wouldn't make no sense at all. That he would go do something as heinous as that. I swear these Femintards would go through such great lengths in order to be the victim, even lying on a man claiming that he's a rapist just to gain victim points. But I digress. Let's continue.
And something's wrong in my head. I honestly don't believe that when my wife wakes me up, I'm dead asleep, I'm completely unconscious to the world. If she wakes me up with it, I don't think it's the R. I'm sorry, I don't.
Yeah.
I know. My ideas are get out there, man.
Yeah, you animal.
Horror stories of them forcing you to film for 8-9 hours and then promising you reimbursement, but then they're dragging out the debate until they get until they're satisfied, and only then will they reimburse you. And people are...
Wow, ma'am. For someone who swears up and down that she doesn't want to be on the Whatever podcast, she certainly knows what goes down on the Whatever podcast behind the scenes, in which I can honestly call bullshit on that. Ma'am, you sat there and you said that you will never be on the Whatever podcast. Now, in the same breath, you're breaking down what's going on behind the scenes of the Whatever podcast. Make the retarded logic make sense here. Let's continue.
If I pay you money to come do a debate and your job is to literally debate, and I'm paying you a couple of $1,000 plus your flight plus your hotel to come do this debate, and the debate is 8 hours, that's just a normal shift. I know plenty of hardworking guys that would love to get paid $1,000, $2,000 to sit down and have a conversation for 8 hours. And if it's in the contract that you're supposed to see through to the end of the debate, that's under the contract for what you have to do to get paid. That's just the agreement. That's the terms that you're agreeing to. So
exactly.
It's out to be like they're bringing these girls out there, and the girls are out there to have a debate, but they're being held against their will. And if they decide to leave the debate early, then they don't get their payment. And half of that is true, but none of them are against their will. And from my understanding of these situations, they're paid to come to do the debate, and you have to do the debate for the length of the debate.
I don't negotiate any of these things because it's not my show.
It's not his show.
What the get paid or don't get paid there, it's none of my business.
Right.
What the are you talking about, Tilly? What does this have to do with me? And what does it have to do with the horrific R word? What?
Nothing. Yeah, nothing.
Not a damn thing.
The desert trying to get back home because of I've heard horror stories from so many. Obviously, I'm not going to put them on blast.
Stranded out in. Do you see the friend stranded out in the desert in California? Stranded in the deserts of Santa Monica. Oh no, these women, these poor women, they can't even use Uber. Come on now, you out there?
Don't just brunch, reach, and she is definitely reaching at this point. Let's continue.
Santa Monica, you can use Uber. You're not straight. Like, do you see the framing, though? The words that are being used to paint and push this into the gray area where people who aren't going to do their due diligence to actually go in and look at these situations can just claim that somebody is an R word. And the fact that there are going to be people who think that now, and she understands that. That's why she's doing this. It's slander and it's gossip. And some people just see it as innocent, but that's what makes it so dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, why do that when then the people could see that there may be another side to whatever those stories are, and perhaps those who are done so dirty may not be being particularly honest about the circumstances in which
Usually
they found themselves in. Maybe that's the case. But I mean, why tell anybody that? Why actually allow a person to defend themselves from allegations when you can just be sneaky and go behind everybody's back and pretend it's true, even though you present no evidence that it is at all?
Right. And if they were actually in these situations, these are the types of women that would love to call the police on somebody like Andrew Wilson or Brian. If they actually had any proof that they were mistreated and taken advantage of and stranded and especially R-worded, they would definitely be calling the police with some type of proof. But because there is no proof of these things and the allegations are false, and because they're empty allegations, oftentimes they just resort to TikToks. And isn't that convenient? It's public slander. That's the exact goal.
You've spoken to me personally about their experiences, and none of them have been good. So I disagreed with you going because I was just thinking, oh, what is she doing?
Objection to hearsay, ma'am. Ma'am, you cannot speak for no one else but yourself. So basically what she's trying to do is put words in the mouth of other women on a podcast that even she will not attend. Again, the retarded logic does not make sense here. You know all this, ma'am, but you never been on the whatever podcast. Yeah, let that sink in. Let's continue.
Nothing to do with platforming, you know?
Yeah.
So, okay, they've had some bad experiences on whatever, according to Tilly. Let's just grant that it's true.
Right.
What the does that have to do with the R word?
Exactly.
What?
Exactly.
Bring it back.
Anything.
Right.
Nothing.
Nothing. Has nothing to do with anything. It's just well poisoning. Very typical female behavior, by the way.
Yeah. So I suppose in my experience, I have a pretty decent working relationship with Brian Atlas, the host. He repaid me. So we negotiated ahead of time that he was going to pay for travel and stay. And he reimbursed me within 24 hours. So I had no reimbursement issues.
Exactly.
Afterwards, he offered to take me out for food. He got food on set. But I've definitely never felt for even a second physically under threat from either.
Thank you, bro. This is why
Wow, ma'am, you just got debunked, but by the woman by a woman that you wow, you forever victim. You just got debunked by the woman you're talking to. You're claiming, they do this, that, and the third, or whatever podcast. She turned right back around and completely destroyed your argument, destroyed your claims right there. Don't you feel embarrassed right now? Let's continue.
Respect her, and this is why, like, the women who come into male niches, like even debate is really a male niche. But the women who come into male niches and they actually enjoy the thing, like when women go into gaming and they actually love the thing, women go into anime and they actually love the thing, they are well embraced and taken care of. But it's the women who come in after that always want to play the, oh, I'm a girl card and you should treat me a certain way. And then they try to dictate how the space is supposed to operate or how the niche is supposed to operate. And then it always ends up with slander. And so even though I don't agree with anything that she says during her debates, I can respect the fact that she's there for the debate. She's there to get better at debate, and she's there to grow her platform, which she does debates on. I respect that.
In no
I can respect it.
For those of you who are expecting a lot more pushback from Kyla, don't be silly. So almost any time Kyla is met with a moral decision and there's something material to be gained, she almost always will universally make the wrong decision. This is why many people on Twitch used to point at her and call her, and still do, they call her Kyla Maxwell because of her relationship with Destiny and trying to, at least the allegation is, hush up Pixie in the background as she was making the various accusations that Destiny was without consent.
Just to clarify, is Andrew Wilson referencing Destiny the cuck? The same Destiny who let other men fuck his wife? Yeah, that cuck. Oh my God. Right now, I'm trying to get my words. I'm trying to get all my words out, but this is just so fucking ridiculous. Let's continue.
Sharing her videos, her sex videos with Destiny.
Oh, no.
This is all alleged.
Oh, no. And that's what happens every single time. Every time you see a panderer, every time you see a panda bear, every time you see one of these guys on the more progressive side saying, yeah, I'm pro-woman, I'm pro-feminist, every single time they end up with weird allegations, bro. Like, as a grown-ass adult, Destiny should be ashamed of himself sharing videos of him sleeping with a woman to people outside of those two people. Even as a grown man.
I mean, the blatant hypocrisy. Not only he's a cuck, but even Destiny's caught up in his own scandals, but now he calls himself trying to expose someone else. I mean, the hypocrisy of it all. Let's continue.
Kissing and telling is kind of feminine behavior, in my personal opinion.
It is there, and it seems to have at least some evidence which backs it up. So, never seen Kyla make a good moral decision, not even one time. Never seen it. Whenever she has the opportunity to do the right thing, she almost always universally does exactly the opposite of what the right thing is. So you should not have high expectations for Kyla. I don't. Now let's check in on what some other creators are saying about this situation on the old YouTube.
Now again, I'm not even an Andrew Wilson fan.
Yep.
That's a good thing. I've been trying to get rid of my female fan base for years.
I will say that's one of the best things about having a more male-centered fan base is even if you say things that they don't agree with, they'll still stick around. When you have a female fan base, trust me, the ad revenue is great because women tend to buy more things, but there's always a gun to your head to say the thing they want you to say. And if you deviate from that message, you're going to lose followers. So that's one of the best parts about having a male audience, I will say.
That's the reason why they have to pander, cape, and simp. Because they don't want to lose their female. These retarded parts don't want to lose their female fan base. And the moment they say the wrong thing, or hold them accountable, y'all know what's going to happen. They'll start losing their female support. But as long as they say the things that the women want them to say, basically, as Poor Man Podcast said, as long as they let these women put guns to these simps and panda bears' head, they're gonna say all the things that the women want them to say. This is the reason why you got these simps, white knights, and panda bears calling themselves making videos trying to correct these men out here. But if you look in the comment section, what do you see? Nothing but women in the comments, and not a single man in sight. So basically, they try to lecture men or try to set men straight, but not a single man watch their shit. Only women. Let's continue.
Very critical of Andrew Wilson in the past.
Mean.
But one thing that I'm not about to criticize Andrew Wilson for is for being something that he's not.
Careful, that's precariously close to a logical reasoned position.
Andrew Wilson is a lot of things. He's an asshole.
Hey.
He's inflammatory. He's provocative.
Really not any of those things. I just say what's obvious and factual. And feminists and crazy all over the internet lose their minds. That's what's actually true.
God damn. The feelings and emotions are heavy on these. Let's continue.
So, what's the resolution here, ultimately? Well, here's the resolution. I'm a reasonable man. What Tilly said here was unconscionable, and it was horrendous.
Yeah.
What I would like for Tilly to do is just make a public video apologizing. It doesn't have to be something in-depth, anything like that. Just retract the allegation then apologize and let
Fair.
people know you got the facts wrong.
Fair and reasonable for a guy who is a grapist and he leaves women stranded and he refuses to pay them after they do the debates. I must say, for that type of guy, just saying I want an apology is pretty fair.
That's all I'm asking for.
I second that notion. I mean, she lies saying that Andrew Wilson is the host of the Whatever podcast when in reality he's not. Bruce is the host of the Whatever podcast. She's making all these claims that even the woman that she's talking to came out debunking. So by the end of the day, it's slander. Regardless. So yeah, an apology is fair enough. Let's continue.
Nothing major. Now, I'm doing this in the spirit of charitability. I want to be as charitable as I possibly can. Perhaps she got many of her facts wrong due to the fact that she's just a moron.
No, I don't think she got the facts wrong at all. I think she said that to slander him specifically. I think they're having a hard time dealing with Andrew Wilson's debates and his debate tactics. And a lot of people, instead of going just straight at him with debate, they're trying to slander him to make him look like a bad person. So other people feel no need to listen to the things he's saying. But yeah, I think that she knows exactly what she was doing.
Does happen. And I'm willing to see past it. However, this is very slanderous and a horrible thing to say about a person. And I am actually willing. I've never one time engaged in lawfare. I have been sued, frivolous lawsuits, because people think that I'm loaded or something. But I have never sued anybody. And I wanted to go my whole life without doing it.
Right.
In this case, I will.
It's getting bad.
Follow action with
straight up, and this is what these retarded fucks need to understand. Because as I recall, one of our MGTOW haters called himself trying to use his girlfriend. His ex-girlfriend to try to make it seem like. That these MGTOWs raped me at a bar and this type of stuff. That's slander. And yes, believe it or not, you can get sued for defamation because of that. And the retarded fuck ass MGTOW hater knows that shit perfectly, which is why I say about a month later, he turned right back around and removed those videos off of YouTube after he was threatened to get served. No doubt about that. Let's continue.
Lawsuit. I did speak to an attorney. They think I have a pretty good case, but I'm going to be completely honest with everybody. If it is the case that I raised money for this lawsuit, do not get your hopes up. Defamation is notoriously difficult to prove.
Right. Yeah.
And so is slander. UK standards are a bit better, but it's difficult to do. So don't get your hopes up. I'm just going to be totally upfront and honest with you.
I think that's pretty good slander. I think he has pretty good proof that she just definitely called him a grapist. She literally said it on camera, right into the camera. It'd be hard unless you say that it's AI to say that you didn't do that. That's definitely slander.
If a picture is worth 1,000 words, then of course a video is worth 1,000,000. And she was caught on camera 4K calling him a grapist when he's not. So yes, he does have a good defamation lawsuit against her on this. Let's continue.
If I pursue a lawsuit, the reason I'm doing it is due to the principle of the thing. In this case, I fully believe 100% that who will say these things on a random podcast is about an individual who they've never met, they don't know anything about, will pursue that, and there's a higher than no likelihood that they will paint other men as being this thing who cannot defend themselves. They don't have the same platform that I do.
Yep.
And so I consider this to be a moral obligation. So I'm going to give her a week. It's the 15th today. Oh,
wait, what day is it now?
That's 7 days. To issue the
21st. Wait, 22nd.
Time is ticking. It's the 20th. Time is ticking, baby. You got 2 more days. I hope you make that apology, baby.
Well, scratch that. It's the 21st. Oh, wait, it's after midnight. 22nd. Let's continue.
Yo, time is ticking.
Well, nobody will ever have to talk about it again, right? I'm a very charitable person, very forgiving person. But if that's not the case and she refuses to correct the record, she's doubling down, then yeah, I think it's perfectly appropriate to pursue legal action, and I will to the fullest extent of the law, including if it's criminal in the UK, which this very well may be, according to the attorneys that I've talked to there. So it's your choice, Tilly.
So it's going to take place in what I call the Beta UK. Yes, I call the UK Beta. I mean, they literally gave up their balls. What do you expect for me to say here?
100% your choice.
Just make the apology.
So that's what I'm asking for. I think it's completely reasonable. I don't think that Tilly will actually do it because, they always double down, right? People always double down. But those are the facts. So if I put up a go...
Look at it this way, Andrew Wilson. If she chooses to die on her hill, then you might as well just bring her tombstone. Well, that's how I see it. Let's continue.
GoFundMe and you give to the GoFundMe. There's 2 things to note there. The first is that I will pursue this as long as there's an avenue to pursue it.
Right.
My attorneys say there's no more point in pursuing this. I'm not going to. Okay. And I will keep the money. And I'll just make that clear. If we go through it and there's no more avenue to go, I'm keeping the difference in cash. I don't know what else to even do at that point. So there's that. The second thing is that...
I guess what else are you going to do? Redistribute it like equally? Like just give everybody a small percentage of what you have left? It makes sense. I guess what else would he do with it?
That's more likely.
Who knows?
Donate it to charity, I guess? I don't know.
However, what I will give my word on is that as long as there is an avenue for pursuing legal recourse, because I believe that there's a moral obligation to do so, I'm going to do it until that is no longer available. But that's going to be up to me and not up to you. So do not give, if in any way this conflicts or has some conflict.
Transparency.
Your moral paradigms or something like this. But that's what I'm going to be doing. Moving over to Destiny. Destiny put out a tweet saying that he would give $100,000 to the defense of Tilly if she was sued for her obvious slanderous and insane and irresponsible comments.
Hopefully he does put the money up.
Oh, Destiny the cuck. Why is he going so hard in the paint to try to pay for her defense, not even knowing that she's lying her ass off? But then again, as Uncle JD will always say, cucks are gonna cuck. Let's continue.
So he could just burn the money. Bro, you could have just given that to charity. She called the man a grapist, bro. She called him a grapist and she has no proof for what she just said. That's an egregious claim. Destiny is in the wrong for doing that. He's definitely in the wrong, and I hope he loses all his money for it.
This was...
And Destiny wonders why everybody calls him a cuck. Let's continue.
Echoed by America, who Destiny has been a part of. I'm not sure if he is now. I'm guessing probably, but I don't know that for sure. But just remember that this is a spokesman for a progressive organization which really hates my guts in a big way, because I wreck all of their members all the time in debates, and they look really stupid. Now, I'm just going to point this out so that you understand the blatant insanity of all of this. Destiny is under accusation of sharing a photography that he shot at home.
Allegedly, right?
He shot at home.
Allegedly.
To another who he was interested in sparking a relationship up with. And did this without the consent of the he shot the original tape with.
So Destiny the Cuck is more than willing to pay for a lion broad's defense, while at the same time he has an alleged case against him. Make it make sense, fellas. But I'm going to stop it here. So not only did she lie to Andrew Wilson claiming that he's a rapist, but she sat there and lied to say that he's the host of the Whatever podcast, even though Brian is the host of the Whatever podcast. She claimed all this stuff that goes on the Whatever podcast is happening, even though she never even went on that show for a day in her life. Her own female guest corrected her, thus proving the lie. You got a cuck who's dealing with his own scandal, paying for the defense. What more can Andrew Wilson say on this? If this ain't a defamation suit, I don't know what it is. But I'm going to stop it right here. Again, shout out to the Poor Man Podcast. If y'all want to watch this video in its entirety, I'll leave the link to his full video in the comments section. Go check it out. Tell him JD Miles sent you. But that's all I got for tonight. I'm done, and I'm out this bitch. Later.